say my name and you say your name right.
Like
after.
my full name? Do I have to like slate?
No, you can just say. I'm gonna say Ryan, and then you'll.
Am I talking to the camera?
Yes.
It's a podcast.
I understand that, but just say your name to the camera, and then that's it. Let me put the stopwatch on, so I'll know. And you gotta be at it. I'm keeping all this in, by the way.
No.
Oh. Professional. Yep, Ryan Harrington.
Jessica Evans.
Say it one more time.
Jessica Evans.
Jessica Evans. Here for, I think this is number 10 for the podcast. Jessica is a really good friend of mine. Very funny, so I had to bring her up here. Let's just jump right into it. So the question was, do men hate women? Or do men undervalue women? And you say,
yes.
Because what?
I think society as a whole does not hate women, but I feel there is a lack of care for women. I think people say, I love women, I value women, and I feel like most people believe that or want to believe that, but actions as a whole in our society say otherwise. Mm-hmm. So that's where, that's kind of where my opinion on that matter.
Now, would you put women in that category as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, and I think the reason that we think that way is we're conditioned by men to think that way about ourselves.
See, that's where I don't believe that. How can someone condition you to think a certain way?
From being a child, like we're conditioned to believe that women are supposed to be a certain way from like the moment you're assigned your gender at birth. Like, you know, I grew up, I'm the youngest of 3.
Okay.
I have an older half brother, same dad, and then my brother who I share a mom and dad with.
Okay.
And lived with my brother I share a mom and dad with. And when he got to a certain age, he got to do certain things.
Right.
Or when he first started having sex, it was like, oh, my son having sex. It was like a cute, like, it was like a funny thing.
Right.
When I started having sex, my dad gave me the silent treatment for 2 months.
Well, did he catch you or what
No.
happened? How did you find out that you were having sex?
No, I'm not gonna put my business out.
No, but I'm saying, like, did he catch you or was it like,
No,
hey,
no.
I'm telling you?
No. I had a boyfriend. I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
Legally an adult.
Okay.
And I was having sex with my boyfriend at the time.
Okay.
Our condom broke.
Okay.
So I was scared, as any teenager would be.
Mm-hmm.
I came home and I told my mom, and I confided in her.
All right.
And I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, can you take me to Planned Parenthood? Whatever. And I was like, do not tell dad.
But you knew she was gonna tell.
But okay, no, in my mind, I honestly
because it's like a woman thing.
Because it was a woman thing.
Okay.
It was something like super sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, please do not say anything. Like, that was my test of like our mother-daughter. And
yeah.
I still I am 31 years old and I was 18. And to this day,
You still mad about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I still don't trust her.
Okay.
I always look at her sideways, but she ended up telling him, and my cousin ended up taking me to Planned Parenthood, and I came. I remember my cousin dropped me off, and my brother was watering the front lawn, and I get out of the car, and he goes, "You might want to hop back in the car and drive away."
So by this time, like everybody, so in this happened like in one day.
This happened. I told my mom, and I think the next day my cousin took me to Planned Parenthood. But then my dad ended up giving me the silent treatment.
Right.
You know, and I'm like, at least I had thought enough to be like, okay, this happened. Let me go.
Yeah.
Get my.
You were like an adult about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I told somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was like, can someone take me like to go get this taken care of, or
you didn't just wait and see.
No, there was no wait and see. It was like, let's go handle some business.
Yeah.
But what was the
how do you say because men?
Because my brother got, it wasn't the same. Like when my brother wanted to go out and do certain things, when I got to that same age, I was not able to do those same things.
Like what, go out and party or?
Yeah, like go out and party, go out and do other things in the same manner as my brother. And when I being the overly opinionated person that I am, and I question everything, would ask my dad, like, why is that is not fair that he gets to do these things when he was such and such age, and now I am the same age and you don't allow me to do those same things. And it wasn't anything like out of the ordinary that any teenager wants to go do, and his excuse was always, well, he's a boy.
Okay.
And there was always like, okay, well, you're a girl, you have to act like this is how girls act, you need to be like this, and if you want to get a man, you have to act like this. So it was always, and I always pushed against that, and that always kind of created like a friction between mostly my dad and I, because he thought that women were supposed to be a certain way, and I was like, fuck that, I'm not gonna be like, I'm gonna act how I want to act.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
that's what I'm saying. So if you weren't conditioned with how your father
but I was up until a certain time, and even throughout my 20s and growing into myself and realizing coming into my own throughout my 20s, I still believed some of that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then it wasn't until my late 20s and then into my 30s where I feel finally that I'm like, yeah, this is the kind of woman that I am. This is the kind of woman that I want to be. I am multifaceted. Like, I can put on a dress and some heels and work it out and slay these hoes. And then I can also, like, wear what I'm wearing right now, and I'm still a woman. Like, I'm still the same. Like, I can be overly opinionated. I can be I debate with the best of them. Like, I can do all these things that people kind of always want women to shut up about, and I can provide for myself, and I can challenge men, and at the same time I still want, I'm single, but like when I'm in a relationship, I still want to come home and like be held and like feel soft and things like that. So like there's but people always think because I am outwardly opinionated and such like that oh, well, she's hard, she wants to be a man, she wants to do, you know what I mean? Like, there's such a negativity surrounding that.
Okay.
Because people think that women are supposed to be a certain way.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? Okay, so let's go back to like your father, right?
Oh,
now, do you think that he had your safety in mind when he wouldn't let you do certain things?
Yeah, as I got older, you know what I mean? I think definitely, you know what I mean? But also, I do think that he is, I'm trying to say this in the most respectful way.
Yeah, go ahead, yeah.
I think he's intimidated by strong-willed women.
Okay.
And, some people just are, you know what I mean? And I think that when I was younger, I didn't really take his upbringing into account when I was going through my troubles with my dad.
Right.
So I only really thought of it from how he was treating me.
How was your mother? Was she like strong-willed as well?
My mom is from Harlem, and my mom is one of those like, come here, baby, let me get, like, she's a mom.
Yeah.
But do not get it twisted. Like, she will pop up and pop you in the mouth in like 2 seconds. Like,
so how did they get together if he was, because it seems like he's very, very, very old school, even though, because I don't think that he's that old. Though he's like 50s maybe, something.
No,
like
my
that.
dad's 60s. My dad was born in 52. My mom was born in 54.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It worked until it didn't. But I do think that I got more of my mom's personality in that aspect. And I think because I was the child, and I started to question things.
You're the baby?
I'm the baby.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm the only girl. Because I started to question things.
Right.
And because I remember at an age I was like, wait a second. Like, I started to like double think and analyze things, and I started to be like, I don't agree with that. And I would flat out say that. And he was like, excuse me? You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
This is why I can't get on board with the like men. What did you
Conditioning?
I just do not believe that.
Well, society conditions women and men, to be honest with you. You know, and it's so embedded in our psyche that we don't even realize that we're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you go to a store, there is the girls section, there is the boys section.
Yeah.
Why?
It's easier to find stuff.
But why? Why is it that there needs to be a girl section and a guy section?
Because we have two different needs.
But I'm talking about like toys. Like, I'm not talking about like practical everyday biological things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you go to like a toy section.
Right.
Why is it that this section is designated for girls
Mm-hmm.
and this section is designated
Right,
for
right.
boys?
Okay.
Why? That's conditioning. You're conditioning these little girls to believe you have the cooking set. You play with the Barbies. You're the mommy.
Mm-hmm.
You're the this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you get the little vacuum.
Right.
You know, you get the, like, and the boys get the trucks and the tools and the whatever. You know what I mean? Like, and they separate them by color. Like, that's conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The way we dress. Little girls get, you know, little dresses and
Mm-hmm.
bows, and little boys get, you know, like pants and all that stuff, and they look more rugged and things like that. That is conditioning.
Okay.
Like, why does there need to be a separation?
So, do you believe in feminism?
Yeah.
Give me your definition, because every single time I ask a woman, every woman gives me a different definition of
Okay.
feminism. So, what is your definition?
Okay, there's feminism, and then there's POC feminism,
What is POC?
To me.
What is that?
or like WOC, like women of color.
Okay.
I think mainstream feminism does not take into account women of color for most part.
Okay.
It blankets women, but for the most part, it affects mostly white women. I know I'm probably gonna piss someone off with that statement, but
right.
fuck it.
You'll be right.
To me, feminism is equal opportunities and treatment of women.
Okay.
It should be regardless of sexuality, like ethnic background, whatever.
So feminism means that you want to be seen equal
I think we should be seen equal.
all the way across the board, right?
I think, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like,
don't
I
either.
believe in, like, you know, I remember a while ago, you know, this guy I went to high school with posted something on his Facebook about, like, wives being submissive or
Okay.
or like, he posted something about washing a man's feet at your wedding.
Okay.
And I was like, I'd be damned if I'm gonna get down in this expensive ass dress
Right.
to wash your damn feet at my wedding. And then he was like, oh, well, it's how you show you're submissive to your husband, blah, blah, blah. And then people want to cite the Bible and then forget the line that comes after that famous line in the Bible. And
What? Give me the line.
like, the Bible talks about how like the wife is to be, I don't know, like verbatim.
Yeah, just
but
paraphrase
like
it.
how the wife is supposed to be submissive to the husband.
Okay.
Right? It also then says right after that people like to forget that the husband must lay his life down for his woman.
Right.
Like, and people forget that part. So pretty much, like, if your wife's quote unquote job is to take care of you and like let you lead as the man or whatever, that does not mean that you get to boss her around and tell her what the hell to do.
Right.
Like, that then means that you need to be a man that is worthy of her letting you lead.
Do you want a man who takes care of you?
Um,
When somebody says, like, what kind of man do you want? You say, I just want somebody to take care of me. Are you one of those?
well, it depends on what you mean by take care of.
Well, what if you say yes? What do you mean by
Okay.
yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you mean
Yeah.
by take care?
But when I think of like take care, like, I want to be with someone that like I feel safe with,
Okay.
like that I know, like, because I'm, like I said, like I feel like I can defend myself,
Mm-hmm.
but I do want to feel like if there is, you know, something about to go down and I may not be as physically strong as you are, because that is a biological difference between men and women.
Right.
That I know, like, my dude can step up and like protect me and will want to protect me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I want someone that I can come home to and then will, you know, knows if I have a bad day. Like, to me, like, that's taking care of me. Knows, like, without me having to say anything, you know, if I'm off.
Right.
You know, and will try to like take care of how I feel and like the betterment of me as their partner, because that's something that I feel like I would do in return as well. Like, if I'm taking care of my person, you know. So yeah, like I don't care about, like, you don't have to buy me shit. Like, in that sense, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you ever ask a man to marry you?
See, I would.
Okay.
I would.
I get the wrong people, man. Okay, but go ahead.
I would, but in the same token, I would like to be asked.
Okay.
I would like to be asked, because I think the way that men and women fall in love is different. And I think that, you know, even though, like, I think gender norms and all that shit is stupid as hell, but I do think that men need to feel like men, quote unquote, you know what I mean? Like, and I think that asking someone to marry them is like part of that, if that makes any sense.
Making them feel like a man?
Yeah, like they took control of the situation, of like that. Like, I asked you to be my wife, like, instead of me being like, will you be my husband? You know, which technically it's just a question.
It is.
It's just a question. You're just asking someone, like, will you spend your life with me? And at the end of the day, like, there's nothing wrong with that question, regardless of who asks it. It's the way that we see it because of how our society views that whole thing. Take the man's last name. You know what I mean? Like, that comes from becoming his property. That's why women change their last names, and them women, you know, all of that shit. But I would ask someone to marry me. I don't know if I would do like a whole proposal.
Yeah, right.
But I would like to be asked.
Just because
it would be
feel
nice.
Important.
Yeah, because I think to me it would be like I also am like deathly afraid of rejection.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I would have never thought that about you.
Deathly afraid. Like, I'd rather say nothing and be your girlfriend for 27 million years.
But why are you so afraid of it?
I don't know.
I mean, the worst thing you can say is like no, and like that's it.
But then it's like, oh, you say no, you're my boo.
Oh my God, you crazy, man. Now, do you think I hear a lot of women say that they're independent, like women, right?
Okay.
But then they always say, well, that's a man's job. I'll ask them like something specific. They're like, well, that's a man's job. I'm like, okay, well, how can you say like you're a feminist and like you're an independent woman, but then like you would want a guy to give up his seat if you like both of you guys on the bus or something like that, and like your feet hurt, and then you want this guy to get up just so you can sit down. You say, well, because like to be a gentleman.
That's not the way I would think about something. Because I mean, I don't get up for nobody. But I mean, the only people I feel like we should get up for are pregnant women and old people.
And old people, I agree.
Like,
yeah,
that's or like women with children. You know what I mean? Like, that should be a no-brainer. But
I talk to a lot of guys and they say like women want a lot of. To them, they say it seems like women want a lot of special treatment, but only when it's like beneficial to them. So yeah, you want to be like seen as equal, but then when it comes down to being equal, you don't want to be equal anymore.
No, and I understand that.
Yeah.
Actually, I understand that point of view because, I mean, I see that, and I feel like there's even like as progressive as I would like to think that I am. Like, there are still times that I always say things like, I want to feel like a woman.
Yeah.
You know, but then it's like, well, what does that mean? And I always battle with myself on what I do, on my opinions that I do have, and then me even saying that statement. You know what I mean? But as far as like the opening doors and things like that, like Like I open doors for everybody. Like I'll hold a door.
I think
for
that's how it
everybody.
should be. Like
right,
yeah.
Right. Have you ever seen a movie, The Bronx Tale?
No.
A Bronx Tale. My bad. Okay, so
Yes.
A Bronx
I know
Tale.
what you're about to say. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So there is a scene. If you have not seen A Bronx Tale, go see it. Where what was his name?
I can't remember.
Kolozhino. That's his name.
That was not his
That
name.
was his name. Google that shit.
What was it?
I'm about to Google
Google it right now. And that was what you
That
just.
was it.
First of all, just say it.
Kolozhino.
All right.
A Bronx Tale. They no damn service.
Oh
on this
my
ground.
gosh, man.
All right. Anyway, while that's loading.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's a scene where he picks up this girl, and you know, he opens her door, and like before he went, his mentor was like, if she doesn't reach over and open your door for you, she ain't the one. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that. Like I would like someone to open my door for me, but then I would reach over and open yours
Right.
in the same way. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like a partnership. I pronounced it wrong, but you see what I was going for.
okay.
Ha ha.
You said it wrong. You don't get the point. You said it wrong.
Whatever. I get a half a point.
But you know, out of all my like people I've dated and everything, only one girl has done that.
Really? You dating the wrong bitch.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And I told her too, because I got too excited and she didn't know why I was so excited. I was like, you're the only one who's ever done that.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, I would definitely do that. Like, I don't know how a guy would feel about me like pulling his chair out.
I don't need all that.
But-
But I was like, I wouldn't, because some guys would get like offended. Like, no, you don't need. I wouldn't get offended. I'd be like, no, like I'm okay, but thank you because to me that's just showing. I wouldn't feel like you're trying to demasculate. Demasculate, right?
Emasculate.
Is it emasculate or
I'm pretty sure it's emasculate.
You're not trying to make me less of a man.
Okay.
You're not trying to make me less of a man. I was just thinking like, oh, okay, she's just showing her appreciation to me. Like that's how I would see it.
Emasculate.
Emasculate.
Yes.
You're right. You get the point for that one, but not for the Bronx Tale.
1.5.
So yeah, I mean that's how I don't know, man. Like a lot of people have different views on relationships and things like that. So
Yes.
like that's crazy. But I still don't think that we condition women.
Yes, we do. It may not
know.
be. It's like it's. I don't know if it's like a conscious thing.
Yeah.
It's not a conscious thing, and it's something that can be broken.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but like I said, like from birth, you are conditioned to think a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And well, the question was what? Like, do we hate women?
Right.
Look at the Me Too movement and all these women that came out.
Mm-hmm.
And their reasoning for not coming out sooner is I was afraid of losing my career. I was afraid of losing my job. A lot of people did lose their careers and their jobs because a man had power over them and, you know, got other men to agree to ruin this woman's career. And even there are still people who think the Me Too movement is crap. Well, why didn't they come out sooner? Well, why didn't you do this?
I don't think it's
Or
crap,
why
but
didn't you do that?
that's kind of one of my questions. Like, why wouldn't somebody say something?
But
I don't think it's crap. I
but you
agree
have
with
to,
it.
You have to think like, okay, like, and a lot of these people that came out were either it happened when they were really young,
Right.
super naive,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like you come to LA, you want to be an actor or a singer or whatever in the industry. Everybody knows the industry is full of like weirdos, you know what I mean? But you get your break. You know, this big time director wants to meet with you to book you for this huge movie that can change your career, right? You get there and you're super excited. You don't know nothing from nothing. You know, like this is your first big break. You go to some hotel room. You probably think it's sketch, but you probably go anyway. You know, knowing that you probably shouldn't. Some shit goes down.
Right.
And if you say no, and this big time director is like, you mentioned this and I will ruin you. All you've ever wanted in your life was to come to LA and be an actor and make your shit like real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You would probably, like in the moment, you would probably be like, number one, scared because this person has connections with everybody.
Right.
If I ever want to fulfill my dream and work in this town, I need to keep my mouth shut.
Okay.
Right?
If it happened to you, what would you do?
I don't know. I would really like to say that I would be like, fuck that, and like,
And that's what I think you would do.
you know,
like, yeah.
But and that's what I would think I would do now.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like, if I was in that position where I was like, this is all I've ever wanted to do in my life, and I, you know, and I'm older.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But if I was young and naive and scared, I don't know. I can't really honestly say what I would do.
Why do you think that I had this argument with someone,
Okay.
and it was a girl, and she was telling, I said, well, why don't women just make your own films and everything? She was telling me
They do.
that the Avengers should have better representation of women, because like there was a line when like did you see Thor, the last one?
The only like comic
Ragnarok?
book movie I've seen is Black Panther. For
All right,
obvious
so
reasons.
there's this part in Thor Ragnarok where like all this stuff is going on, right? And there's this girl, and she looks over to Thor, and she's like, well, what do we do now? And she was saying like, why does the woman have to look to him, like the man, to figure out what's going on?
Right.
So I'm like, well, if you think that women need better representation, why haven't women like made their own yet? Because I hear like a lot of women like complaining. I'm like, well, why don't you guys just make your own? And like the example that I gave was when like black people, we weren't being treated how we thought we should have been treated at the time. So we started doing our own thing. We made our own music, own record labels, own like TV shows. We had Black Wall Street. You know, we just made our own.
Right.
So instead of complaining about,
look how that turned out.
that wasn't our fault though.
No, it wasn't. But
Yeah.
it's a point. Look how it turned out.
You gonna no.
No, I'm not going there. I'm not going there. I'm just saying.
But
Like, go ahead.
So
go ahead.
why can't women just make their own instead of complaining?
Yeah.
Why not make your own?
See, okay. My point to the Black Wall Street thing was we did make our own. We flourished, and people came in and fucked it up and tore it down.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And that happens in Black culture to this day.
But that's for hatred though. You know what I mean?
We're getting to that.
All right, go.
I'm not gonna get too much into like the black folks thing because that's a whole nother topic. But there are women who want to make stories about women, and but Hollywood is run by men. You know what I mean? Like, so it starts like we need more women in those big seats. I think more people of color in those big seats. And there really aren't.
Well,
you really think that people that are making like I find it very, very, very hard to believe that there just are not any women directors, writers, producers. Like, we see like a fraction of what's out there of like these women that are trying to create these stories to bring better representation of women to film.
Right.
And I just think that a lot of them get stopped along the way. They don't get the same funding as men do. You know what I mean? Women, you know, like, and you can even go to not even just in Hollywood, but like what, you know, back to the feminism thing, like pay. Women don't get paid, you know, the same as men.
Right.
You know, white women make more than black women.
Right.
And black women make more than Latina women, and native women make the least of every fucking body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, men make, you know, get the most privilege in that sense. So what's to say, like, we may not see a lot of women making our own, but what's to say that they're not out there trying to, and they're not getting stopped along the way, because we know that happens.
But how can someone stop you from making a film?
You have to get funding and all of that stuff.
It don't cost that much to make a movie. To make like a pretty okay movie. And then you have people, like you have your Angelina Jolies, you have all these women in high up places. So they can get this movie made. You know what I mean?
But you really, really think that it's I feel like if it were that easy, I think you would see more.
I never said it was
like
easy.
I really think that there's like they're not gonna, like, people don't give the same funding and opportunities and like okays
Right.
to women
Right.
as they do to men.
But you just have to find another way to do it. I never said it was easy. I'm gonna go back to that. So it's not easy, but you just have to find another route to do it.
Right.
You know?
I mean, I feel that, but I think the argument of why don't you just make your own is kind of like a victim blame. You know what I mean? And I feel like you can't do that when there are women out here trying to make our own. You know, like, and the reason you're not seeing as many, and you know, they may be doing what you're saying, try another way,
right?
But that trying another way may take them so much more longer than it would for a man. So that's why you're not seeing it. How long did it freaking take for like this like explosion of black cinema that we're seeing now? And I can't even say explosion because it ain't that many. It's like 5, but to us that's a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like mainstream cinema, like that's not the norm. You know what I mean? Why did it have to take so long? We had to make our own, but people still scrutinize, and which makes it harder for us to get those like bigger movies made, or those bigger, you know, TV shows made. If you look at TV now, there's one
what?
Like predominantly black show.
What is it? What, Empire?
Like Blackish. Take Blackish. Like a black family show.
I got
you know
you,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like Empire, yeah, but Empire again, if you look at Empire, it's a stereotypical
It's not like a
black
regular
folks.
type of...
Like not all black folks act like Cookie Lion.
Yeah.
Even though she is everything. She is everything.
You watch How to Get Away with Murder?
I do. I live for Shondaland. But do you know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we do need more representation, but we need more access to the resources to make that representation come forward.
Would do you want a woman president?
Yeah.
What do you think would be the difference
between a woman?
What do you think that a woman could bring to running the country than just like another man? Because clearly, like, women think different.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a positive.
I think that was different perspective was going to be my answer.
Okay.
Different perspective. Everyone wants to say, like, if we have a woman president, it shouldn't be too emotional. I'm like, look at the fuck bag we have now in his emotional tweeting. Like, what?
I never really worried about that. Like, if Hillary was president,
you know?
I don't think they would be like, oh, her emotions would.
You realize the United States is one of the only, like, progressive countries that does not and has not ever had a female president. So that excuse is stupid. But I think changing perspective is going to be the biggest difference. I think it would be interesting. I think it would be interesting to see what that would look like.
Okay.
And what the platform would be, and like what changes could happen, because I really think there needs to be changes that do focus on women and women's health and things like that, you know, our bodies are being governed by a room of men who have no freaking clue what it's like to go through things that we go through. Right. Or
we're talking about like abortions or like what?
Abortions, or even like just like Planned Parenthood. Take Planned Parenthood as a whole. Like,
because they're trying to cancel that, right? Or like
take away funding.
Right.
Like, I used to go to one in Burbank, and it's closed down. You know, and people think of Planned Parenthood, all they think is abortion. Like, that's not all they do up in there. I think it's like
they do abortions at Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
I thought it was just for like birth control and like condoms.
No, yeah, they do abortions.
You got an STD, you go.
They do STD tests. They do Pap smears. They do mammograms. They do. I don't know if they do mammograms, but they do Pap smears. They do. It's a women's clinic, and I think people who are like abortion, and then they're like, burn it down, you know. Do you know what I mean though?
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you know, there was a time where I was between jobs and I didn't have insurance, and so I needed to, you know, get my like physicals and things, and birth control and all of that, and Planned Parenthood.
There you go.
Fuck you. They have their own insurance that they offer to you for free or like super, super, super cheap.
I didn't know that.
And that's how a lot of women get their checkups.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, you know, it's
so why are they trying to cut funding?
Because people hear abortion. I think they think Planned Parenthood is synonymous with abortion.
So they think like tax money is going to help pay for abortions.
Yeah, I'm like, you realize people get abortions in hospitals too.
Oh.
Are we gonna shut down?
That's funny.
The
Shut down every hospital.
Like,
Everything. Turn off the lights. We out
shut
here.
it all down.
Let's talk about something fun.
Okay. No more abortions?
No more abortion
All right.
talk. All right.
Shit.
The world knows that you're now a highly intelligent black woman.
I am.
What kind of man does this highly intelligent black woman look for? What characteristics are you looking
This
for?
highly intelligent bisexual black woman.
What
So
kind?
person.
You know what? I didn't want to say it because I didn't know if you
Oh no.
wanted it all out.
Oh no.
What kind of person? What kind of person do you look for?
Well, actually, it's funny. I look for different things in men and women.
Let's go with women first.
Okay. I don't know. I have a look type. But when it comes to I think it's different what I'm attracted to in women. So I don't know. Like, I think for women, it's like a different kind of connection. I think it's more of like an emotional thing.
That you look for.
Yeah,
Or
but
like
I think
that
it's
you're-
something that you can't look for. I think it's like something that like you meet someone and it's like
You waiting for that?
either
feeling?
it's there or it's not.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's
Okay.
like, at least for me, like on my end of the spectrum, like it's not like a oh, let's just pounce around type of thing. It's like if I meet someone and I'm like, oh shit, like this is cool,
Mhm.
then cool, I'll go with it. But I can also meet someone and be like, there's like what? Nothing, crickets. And I'm like, and then pass. Most oftentimes it's crickets.
Okay.
Yeah, but for men, I think that, like, going back to what I was talking about earlier, like I think it's the like safe thing. It's like the safety thing. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's why I like guys that are like, I'm pretty tall, but I either like guys that are taller than me, or if they're not taller than me, a little bit like broader built.
Like
I
stockier.
like I like that, like if I'm
That solid feeling.
yeah, like
Yeah.
if he hugs me, like I'm like all up in there. You know what I mean? I really like that from a man. But on either end, like I like someone that can like deal with my personality and who won't like shy away from it, but will also like pick fights with me.
Why do girls like to fight?
I don't. It's
Y'all
like
are
foreplay.
weird, man.
I don't know, man.
That's cool.
Like we'll like pick fights with me, or if I'm walling out, like, you know, on one, we'll like turn around and be like, you need to shut the fuck up. Like straight face. And I'm like, oh, shut up.
What is who is more fun, or which type of relationship do you enjoy more? Do you enjoy being with the woman or enjoy being with the man more? If you had to pick.
See, I have only found one girl that I even entertained the idea of being in a relationship with.
Okay.
Everything else was just fun.
Messing around with, yeah.
And with her, it was like I was attracted to her before I even met her in person.
Was it like Instagram or something?
No, I'm not even gonna say. She knows who she is, but like,
Well, I don't know who she is.
I
I'm just
told
playing.
you.
Did you?
Yeah. Ain't nobody out here. Anyway, so this don't make that sound.
I'm like thinking so hard, but go ahead.
No, it was a mutual friend. We'll say that. Mutual friend. And we had a group chat about something, and I realized that when she would text me about whatever was in the group chat, like I would get excited to see her name pop up. And I was like, huh, you know? And literally, like, when we met, it was like vibes, like instantly.
Yeah.
And you know, and then when I wouldn't see her, I would find myself missing her. And that's why I was like, fuck. Like,
So,
here we
and
go.
she knew that you, so how did it, like
we
transpire into something?
we didn't there was no relationship.
Oh wow, okay.
But she knew how I felt, like I told her, and we're still really good friends, like to this
But she's
day.
not here.
Like no, like she is like dating someone,
Okay.
and like that's my girl, you know what I mean? Like really, really, really good friend. But yeah, that was like the only person. And I remember her asking me once, she was like, "Do you like me?" And I was like, "I don't know." Like, but knowing in my head, I was like, "Yeah, I fucking do." You know what I mean? But I think I was trying to like understand what that meant, because I've always been attracted to women, but she was the first one that I was like, "Yo, like, I want to like kick it with her hella," you know, and like just be around her all the time, you know? And so that was cool. What was the question?
Do you prefer
Well,
if you had
right?
if you had to pick one, which one would you?
I wouldn't pick one. That's why I'm bisexual.
No, I'm saying, but if you had to,
Why would I have to?
I don't. It's a hypothetical. If you just had to pick
I don't like that question.
a man or
I don't know.
a woman, you don't know
I don't know.
who was more fun?
Who was more fun?
Being around. Is it more fun to like hang with a
It
guy?
depends
or
on
is
the
it more fun
person,
hang
to be
with a
quite
dude?
honest. Like,
Okay.
because I can hang out with dudes all day and be bored as hell, and like, there's nothing going on, and you know, it just depends on the person.
I can dig it. Tell me what you said about how you don't. What did you say about guys? About liking a guy like you can't.
What do you mean?
What did you say?
Are you bringing my personal life?
No.
I already got in personal.
This isn't even like personal. You said that
What did I say?
you need a guy to like not notice you in order to like him or something.
Oh
like
my
that.
god. Oh my god. No. Okay, we're bringing up my like.
That was the
these are
dumbest
things
thing ever, but it
these
was
are things
funny.
we need to talk to my psychiatrist about.
Just say it was funny.
Or psychologist, whichever one it is. No, I don't know. I think that like and this just goes back to like female insecurities and experiences that I've had with men, and this is also a form of conditioning, whether it's from them or from myself.
Okay.
But it becomes a reality.
Okay.
Like I have this thing where like if I know someone's interested in me, I lose interest right away.
Right.
So, and it should be the opposite. Like you should be like, oh, this person's interesting. Let me like see what this is about. And to me, it's like, run. It's like red flag. I like immediately want to run away.
Okay.
And I don't know what it is about like if I'm into someone and they don't give me attention, I'm like, why aren't you giving me attention? Like, I'm gonna scoot closer, and if you scoot away, I'm just gonna scoot closer. And that made me sound so creepy and crazy right now.
No.
But like, it's like I don't know what that's about.
So is it like you like need them to?
No, that's a completely unhealthy thing.
So
that's in my head.
So let's just use me and you. So if you like me and then like I'm not paying you any mind. So then like you just said, you're like trying to scoot closer, like you're trying to do things in order for me to like you or notice
like
you.
Like at first, I think that's something I would do.
So then if I do like you, then do you like, I don't like him anymore?
No.
So okay, so you'll keep.
Like okay, because it's like I feel like there would still be like a flirtation that went on, but like if I feel like maybe if I feel like there's like I think maybe like there's like a something there, you know what I mean? Like, but I feel like you're not giving me attention. It's gonna like it draws me in for some reason.
Because you're like intrigued or like fascinated
I think so.
by it?
Like, yeah.
You're curious.
It makes me like curious. I don't know. And, but like if I like know someone is like openly like I'm into you, or like has like behaviors that like lets me know that they're like into me right off the bat, or before I emotionally get there, like for some reason I wouldn't call it a turn off, but it's like I don't know, like something about it like freaks me out and I want to run away. But I think that's completely unhealthy. I think that's definitely something that I should like talk to someone about, like low key, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's something that I should explore within myself, you know? And I don't think I really have. That's why that is and why my mind works that way. Because I shouldn't, you know, like that should be something that's exciting and something that is like fun. but to me, it scares the shit out of me.
Okay.
And I think it scares me because it's not what I'm used to.
Do you have like commitment issues, maybe?
See, I don't know if I have commitment issues. This is totally off of the original topic.
It is. It's all right.
This has become like a therapy session.
Hey, it's all good. Just gonna let this tape run out.
I don't think I have commitment issues because I know that I want a family in the future, and that requires huge commitment. I think that it's...
Don't you think those are two different things, though?
What do you mean?
Like kids and like having like a spouse or a boyfriend are like two totally different type of... Because your kids can't leave you. Your husband can leave you. Like your boyfriend, like they can...
True, but I see like a spouse in my future, and that requires commitment. It has to start somewhere, like
Okay.
on like a date or whatever. But I don't know. I forgot what I was saying. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I was saying.
You said you don't have commitment issues because
Yeah, I don't
like,
think I have commitment issues.
Kids and
I
everything.
think that I just get scared of being vulnerable with people. I think I've gotten so comfortable wanting relationships or having an idea of the relationship that I feel like I want, but having the freedom to be by myself and not having to be vulnerable in a certain way with people.
Say it again.
What did I say?
I don't know. Like what you said, it kind of confused me.
Like I feel like if I'm sitting here right now, like I have an idea of a relationship.
Right.
I have a picture in my head.
Right.
But I think I've gotten comfortable chasing that, even though that may not be a reality, or it may end up looking different than how I see it in my head.
Okay.
I've gotten comfortable chasing that, but also being alone and being by myself, because that doesn't require me to be vulnerable.
Right.
Or like, open up to people or like open up to a spouse or like a partner or boyfriend or whatever, in that kind of way. I don't know, like that's like if I'm analyzing myself, like that's what I think it is. And it like freaks me out. So
are you like scared of change? I used to be
no
terrified of change.
No,
like,
I actually like change. I like change on my terms.
That's how I was. Like I didn't like change unless it was like I did it or like I'm controlling it.
Right.
But now like I'm
I'm
away from that now.
Yeah, I like change on my terms. I don't like people to just like pull the switch up.
Right.
I mean, depending on what it is.
Right.
So
What is what's like a turn off for you for dating someone?
If I feel like I'm not going to be challenged by you, turn off.
Got you.
If like you got on me about the too nice thing.
Yeah.
But I feel when I say too nice, like I like someone. I don't want like someone that's like super hard and emotionless. Like I think that I would like someone that has like some bite to them, like some edge, like some kind of like quirk. Like I don't want to feel like I can walk all over someone. So that's a turn off for me.
Okay.
I don't know. Someone who like lies or like doesn't show effort's a big one.
Okay.
Because I'm like once I
effort in life, like in relationships and in
Yeah.
work and everything.
Yeah, like I don't want someone that's lazy. Because I mean, I feel like everyone can get lazy, but I also, if I'm gonna be working hard, like I don't want like an Issa Lawrence situation.
So can we kind of okay.
You know?
So would you put that the same category as like ambition?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mine is open-minded. If you're not open-minded.
Yeah.
If you can't like hear what someone else has to say like about something, even if you
Yeah.
don't like agree with it,
Yeah.
like that's a big turn off to me.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I
something
think that's
that
like my really number one right
I'm
there.
working on that for myself. 'Cause
Really?
I feel like, yeah.
You seem like a pretty open-minded person. Is there like a specific thing that you're not really open-minded with?
I would consider myself pretty open-minded, but there are things that I am like set in my ways about, and you're not going to change my mind. And I feel like if I feel like your opinion does not serve a purpose, I will tell you your opinion serves no purpose and to take it elsewhere.
Give me one. Give me one that you're not gonna change your mind about.
Okay, when people argue about being able to say the N-word and who should be able to say it. And I have had people in my Facebook comments who are not black saying, well, I should be able to say it because hip hop. And I'm like, are you black? No, but hip hop. Okay, well, you're not black, so you don't get an opinion.
Okay, I agree with you on that.
End of story.
Give me another one, because I think that's like a pretty general one.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see how anyone can argue that.
Oh, people do. People will try to argue.
But like, you don't have an like that. That's probably, I will listen to you, but
I won't even listen.
I'll listen.
I won't listen.
And
because to me that's like, you sound stupid. I'm not gonna waste time. I don't have the emotional real estate to listen to you.
The emotional real estate. Give me another one that you're stuck in your ways about.
What am I stuck in my ways about? I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's most things that revolve around like black people and black culture.
Okay.
I am very set in my ways about. There are certain things I'm willing to hear you out, even though I know you're not going to change my mind. Mm-hmm. Depending on the issue. But most things like that. Women's things like the whole, like what we were talking about earlier, like women's health. Like, you don't have a uterus, you should not have a say.
Okay, so your things are I can understand like why social, you would be closed-minded, because they make sense why. Right. I think like some things you should have a closed mind on, but like other
I don't think I have a closed mind on, like, I don't know. I think I'm pretty open-minded about everything else.
Yeah. That's why I asked you.
But I am really trying to, at least the other things, I'm trying to work on my listening and like being able to hold a dialogue with people. Whereas before I'd be like, you ain't shit, shut the fuck up, get out my face.
In an argument or like a debate? That's
yeah,
what you would say normally?
Yeah, like I would be like, you need to have several seats, get the fuck out my face. But I'm trying not to do that. Like every seat, the whole stadium's worth of seats. Oh my gosh. Like, but I am really trying to work on that, and just because I know that I've said to people, like, if you would just listen to what we have to say, mm-hmm. Although sometimes people don't deserve to be heard unless, but I do think that dialogue and conversation about tough subjects is important. Mm-hmm. If anybody's gonna get anywhere. So if I'm going to preach that, like, I need to work on that with myself and be open enough to do that in my life with people that don't necessarily think the same way that I do.
Right. So. I got you. Before we wrap this up, you crazy? Do you have any other questions? Anything you want to say? Anything you want to? Oh, give your Instagram.
At Jessie Eves, JESSIEEVS. It's private, but I'll add you.
Is there anything else you want to?
No, say? I feel like we got super off topic, and you just became
there is
my
no
therapist
topic.
for the hour.
The greatest thing. All right, no questions for me.
I don't know. Do you want to go get a beer?
I don't drink beer. You know what I like? Those Angry Orchards.
Wow.
But that's not a beer. That's like an ale or like a cider. I'm not a beer drinker. I don't like the taste. It tastes disgusting.
Ladies who like Angry Orchard. Whatever, ladies.
Or some Crown Royal. Crown Royale.
I'll fuck with some Crown.
Good.